Hello my dear friends, you're in the Military Summary channel. In this short video we're going to discuss the most important events that took place during the previous night of the local time. First we're going to talk about Kiev, because if you remember, yesterday Zelensky he answered lots of interesting questions. He had some press conference, and the most important update according to that event is that Ukrainians are planning to mobilize additional 500,000 soldiers. Militaryland.net made their own analysis of that situation. According to them, the reasons of new mobilizations are fairly simple. This new mobilization will allow the Ukrainians to create new brigades. If we say that one brigade has 3,000 units, that means that the Ukrainians can create a significant number of new brigades for 2024 offensive operation. Furthermore, according to Military Land, the Ukrainians need to maintain the combatability of the existing brigades, and it requires additional 20,000 soldiers each month. So obviously, 500,000 army will allow the Ukrainians to survive during the next year. Zelensky also added that Ukraine is not losing the war. It's very difficult and complicated to understand what does he mean by saying losing the war, and what does mean personally to him, the loss for Ukraine. Because for me, if you ask my opinion, the current situation on the ground tells me that slowly but step by step, but the Ukrainians are getting every single day worse and worse situation. Now we are moving to the situation on the ground, and first we're going to talk about Krynky. Very interesting details and updates are coming from this territory. The Ukrainian sources publish significant number of geolocations, and as you can see, most of them are located inside of the main Ukrainian foothold. There are a few videos, few geolocations, some of them we are going to watch, some of them are not. And the main thing that, as you can see, according to the map, one FPV drones strike of Ukrainian forces took place in this area. The second one took place in this area. We will not watch this video because of significant number of casualties, dead bodies, and killed people and so on. We will bypass those geolocations, but these two geolocations tell us that probably as a result of Russian offensive operation, they managed to establish control, at least, or it's like the minimal progress of the Russian forces on this side of the Krynky, and this is the second minimal progress that the Russians managed to achieve as a result of, let's say, another operation. I'm not saying that the Russians established control over this territory like this, because we haven't received any geolocated videos of that, and I'm not sure that the Russians were able to do this. But as I understand, the Russians tried to split the Krynky foothold into many pieces. For now, as we can see, according to geolocations, they managed to create at least three Krynky, let's say, footholds. The southwestern is the first Krynky foothold. The second one is the central Krynky foothold, including the forest, and the third one is the Ukrainian foothold on the northeast of the village. So these are three footholds that the Russians will try to work separately. Furthermore, we got another geolocated video from Ukrainian side. On this video we see the process of Russian offensive operation, at least from the northeastern direction. Significant number of Russian infantry troopers who were moving from one building to another, who were probably retreating after another wave of attack. Then the Ukrainians managed to discover the Russian positions at some building, and they start bombing and attacking this building with FPV drones. Then the Russians, when they found out that their positions were discovered, took a decision to change their location, and they start running away from this territory. So then, as you can see, now they're moving from this, they're just changing the place because it was too dangerous to keep staying there. So this is the situation, and according to information we have, the Ukrainians took a decision to step back from this territory. The thing is that the Ukrainians have a lot of problems in Zaporozhye. The Ukrainians have problems in Bakhmut, in Rabotino. And now they haven't started the mobilization process, so that's why they need to have some operational reserves on every single direction, like Bakhmut, Artyomovsk, Zaporozhye. So that's why, according to information we have, the Ukrainians took a decision to redeploy the forces of 37th Brigade, 35th Brigade, 38th Brigade, and 36th Brigade, at least to Zaporozhye, to the Bradley Square, to Rabotino, because we know that the Russians are pushing on this direction as well. So the situation is getting worse and worse, and there are very high chances that maybe even by the end of this week the Ukrainians will be forced to step back completely from the Krynky foothold. Now we are moving further. We have some updates about Novomykhailivka, yet we haven't received even a single geolocated confirmation of Russian control over this warehouse to the left on the central of the farms and cemetery to the east. Just small episodes and scenes, but the deep state map have already updated their map showing this territory under complete Russian control. Obviously the Russians need few days to regroup and dig in deeper, and after that we're gonna see the ground operation inside of the village. There are very high chances that operation has already started, but we still haven't received like any geolocated confirmation of that. Furthermore, we got just one video from this area as how the Russians were bombing the eastern outskirts of the village using TOS flamethrower system. So this is like artillery preparation before the next attempt, another attempt to attack from the Russian side. Very soon we're going to start receiving more and more details and updates inside of the village, but for now just the videos and geolocations on the outskirts and on the edge positions of this settlement. We haven't received anything from Bakhmut, from Donetsk, Avdiivka area, just one geolocated video of Russian FPV drone against Ukrainian positions somewhere in the vicinity of industrial area in the vicinity of Yasinovatovskaya line. As a result of FPV drone strike, the Ukrainian positions were damaged and so on. So which we are using this geolocation to clarify the combat line in this area. That's this part of the forest either in the gray zone or under Ukrainian control. Now we are moving to Bakhmut Artyomov's direction. We have lots of very interesting details and updates from this territory. The Russians continue offensive operation, and the sources are saying that the Russians launched a very powerful attack on the line between Bogdanovka railways and Khromovo in direction of Ivanovska. And currently the main Russian goal and the main Russian purpose of this attack is to establish control over this Popovy Les. This is Popovy forest. This is the forest and has the title of Popovy. So this is the main Russian goal. Currently it's a very strong and very powerful fortified area, but if the Russians can establish control over this territory, obviously we understand that the Russians will be able to secure the flanks, and after that there are going to be no barriers to continue offensive operation further in direction of Ivanovska from the north. We got another video from the Ukrainian side how the Russians were bombing the Ukrainian positions in the vicinity of Bogdanovka, in the vicinity of the northern hill on the north of Bogdanovka, which also might mean that something like artillery preparation before the next wave of attack in this direction, because the Russians captured some positions in this area 2 weeks ago, and after that there was a very long operational pause, and obviously sooner or later this pause is going to be ended, and then the Russians will start moving. Very interesting video we have from Bakhmut, somewhere from Bakhmut. This video is not geolocated correctly, I just added this softly, but on this video we can see significant number of Russian forces, Russian soldiers, stormtroopers. They're praying before another wave of attack on direction of Ukrainian position, maybe in Klishchiivka, maybe in Ivanovska, maybe in Chernobylets. The soldiers, like everybody, like one soldier, staying on their knees and praying to God. There is a priest in front of them. Of course, this is a very difficult, not difficult, but very strong scenes showing the Russian consolidation, showing that the Russians are ready to fight, that they're not afraid of death, they're not afraid of anything. They believe in their God, they believe in their motherland, and they're ready to fight no matter what, no matter the difficulties, no matter the support from the Western countries. And when I see these scenes, I have no doubts whether the Russians are able to complete the special military operation or not. I don't remember even a single scene or footage from the Ukrainian side the same type, like collaboration of soldiers, like one a lot of soldiers, like one big body, like one big, I don't know, attack fist or something like this. So this is the situation on Bakhmut direction. When talking about Soledar, we got a very interesting video from Sporne published by the Ukrainian forces. On this sense, we see another Russian rush with a very powerful armored fist. The Russians were attacking the positions of 10 Mountain Assault Brigade The Ukrainians, according to this video, managed to repel Russian attack. They managed to damage or even to destroy a few Russian armored vehicles. This video was geolocated, and according to this video, as you can see, the Russians' main goal and main purpose attempt was to attack to the north in direction of Sporne and to establish control over the fortification belts, the defense belt between Avdiivka and Sporne, and I'm talking about this territory. So the Russians were moving here. Some forces, some armored vehicles were destroyed, but as I understand, the Russians managed to dig in deeper and to capture the true line, and now they will move to the north, clearing this territory, and with attempt to attack after Sporne from the west, and maybe even to attack Avdiivka from the south. So we see another point of pressure from the Russian side. When talking about Kupiansk Liman, no changes, just another video from Udai Diary Day 34. At the beginning of the day, the Ukrainian losses were 223, and at the end 230. So 7 soldiers the Ukrainians lost during the day, during the work of one FPV drone operator. And that's it for the short video. Military Summary channel reminds you, you condemn any violence in the world. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes, join my Patreon, and have a good day. Bye bye.